Hey guys, this is Caroline, and this is the third installment of my 3D printer journey here. Today's video is going to be a tutorial. What I'm going to show you is how to print from your smartphone to your 3D printer. It's a combination of having a Raspberry Pi, running Octoprint, and a plugin called Astroprint. And I'm going to do this. So this is really the first tutorial of 3D printing that I'm going to do. So this is really exciting, being able to print from my phone. Okay, so let me show you how it works. I'm going to do a screen record starting right now. I'm going to go to my CASA app. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on my printer from my phone. And if you've seen my other videos, I've got this TP-Link video out there. It uses the CASA app, and you can turn on your 3D printer from the CASA app. And I just did that right now. My printer is now on. Excellent. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to my internet provider, and I'm going to my local IP. So I am at home right now turning this on, and I need to connect. So I'm going to hit connection, connect, and now I'm connected. Excellent. Okay, I am connected, and now to show you that I can do this without being at home, I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi, and now I'm going to an app on my phone called Astroprint. And I'm going to connect to my Raspberry Pi. Ready to print. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into Thingiverse. So there's a Thingiverse, I guess plugin, option in the Astroprint app right here. Hit Thingiverse. I'm searching for a spool holder right here for my printer. Let's see, where is it? It's right here. And then I just need the nut for it. So I'm going to select the nut. I'm going to choose my print destination, Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to choose my slicer settings. All right, I am doing PLA, and I'm going to hit print, and it says it's ready to be printed. Hit the print button, and now my printer should be heating up, and sure enough, the extruder is heating up, the bed is heating up at the same time, and it's all running off my little Raspberry Pi here. I did connect that. We will let it start printing, and then when we finish printing, we'll get a push notification and an email to let me know it's done. I can monitor it, the print job outside of the home from Astroprint. And I did this without port forwarding. I will show you how to do this start to finish. And here it goes. It's about to start printing now. The materials you'll need for this project, other than your 3D printer, of course, is your Raspberry Pi, an LCD screen for your Raspberry Pi. Now I'll link to the one I'm using below because the instructions vary just slightly depending on which LCD screen that you buy. You'll need a mouse and a keyboard. This is a mouse. You'll need a HDMI monitor. You'll need your standard webcam. Now if your webcam's like this, I did print out a 3D print out a little stand for it. You might need that. You'll need, of course, a power supply for your Raspberry Pi 3. You'll need the printer cable. This should have come with your 3D printer to hook up your Raspberry Pi to your printer. And then I also 3D printed a nice little case for my LCD screen and a little stand as well. And those are the materials you'll need for this project. Here we are at the raspberrypi.org downloads page, and I'll leave a link below, but it's just raspberrypi.org/downloads. You just click this downloads button here, and to install the LCD screen, I'm going to go for the full Raspbian version here, Raspbian Stretch with desktop, and I'm going to download the entire zip file right here. And once I do that, I can flash it. So I'll show you how to flash in the next step. I am flashing the full Raspbian system onto my SD card right here. I have completed the flash, and I can now just remove the micro SD card from my computer. I'm going to download the driver specific to my LCD screen. This is the URL provided to me by the LCD screen manufacturer, and it's got the drivers right here. So I'm going to choose the driver, and I'm going to, you have to have a network connection, the other one you don't, I guess. I am going to choose this one, and I can save the file. So now it's going into my downloads folder. So here is my downloads folder. Here is the driver, and I'm going to drag and drop it into my USB drive. So this is just a regular thumb drive right here. I'm going to save that to my thumb drive, and I'm going to eject my thumb drive. Right here we have our Raspberry Pi in its case. I've stuck the SD card in right here, and I've plugged in the USB drive that I downloaded the driver for the screen on, and then I've got my mouse and keyboard plugged in, HDMI right here, and then I'm gonna plug this in and see if the screen comes on. And here we go. And here is a fresh copy of Raspbian being started up for the very first time. And I'm going to make a couple of updates. So first of all, I've got to get it on the Wi-Fi. Okay, I've inserted my USB drive here, and it says it recognizes that I did insert a USB drive. I'm going to open in File Manager, yes. And this LCD show that I downloaded in the previous step is right here. I'm going to go to Home, Pi, and I'm going to drag and drop it, copy it right here. And now I'm going to eject it, and I'm going to remove my USB drive. Now I'm going to go into my terminal. The first thing I want to know is what's my IP address. So that's ifconfig. Okay, it's 24. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is sudo apt get update. I want to update this. Now let's allow for cameras, SSH, everything, and change the default password. So we're going to go to sudo raspi config. So the first thing I'm going to do is change my password. So the default password is Raspberry, but if you don't change it, it gives you a warning message every single time you SSH into it. Next, we're going to go into interfacing options. I'm going to allow the camera. I'm going to go back to interfacing options. I'm going to allow SSH. Yes. And I'm going to change the time zone to US Eastern. That is me. Just want to make sure the time is correct. And I'm going to finish that. It's going to reboot. Yes. And now I should be able to SSH into it. I'm assigning an IP address to my Raspberry Pi that's going to be running my 3D printer. That ensures that every time I turn off and on my Raspberry Pi and or my router, that I get assigned the same IP address every single time. I know what the IP address is, and I've set it up in here. So I'm not going into detail on how to do this just because it varies from manufacturer to manufacturer, but please do go in to whatever router that you have and assign an IP address internally. Make a note of that. That is how you're going to have to SSH into your Raspberry Pi for the next part of this tutorial. Now we're going to go into SSH on our new Raspberry Pi. And I'm typing in the password I just created a minute ago, and now I'm in. So my first step is to get that LCD screen working. And to get that LCD screen working, what I'm going to do is I have copied the driver into the Pi here. So now I'm going to unzip the file and then CD into that directory I just created. And then I need to chmod make this executable and then execute. And it should be rebooting now, and let's see if my LCD is working now. And you can see it's powering on the LCD. Now I've unplugged the cable, and sure enough, you can see the screen right here. You can go to the menu, and you can see everything right here. So now I've got the LCD working on here, and I'm gonna go back to SSH and we're gonna go through the Octoprint install now. I have the instructions over here on the right. These are the instructions for Octoprint, and I've got my SSH over here. Log into my Pi again. And I'm literally going to continue. First of all, I want to make sure I'm in the right folder. Yes, I've already done the update, so now I'm going to skip over that and go into the installing Python. Yes, I want to continue, and I'm done with that now, so now I'm going to clone the GitHub repository now. Okay, it looks like it succeeded this time. Now I'm going to cd into Octoprint. Virtual environment. Now I'm going to go and do the Python install. And we just finished the Python install, the setup install. So now I'm going to make my directory. I'm going to follow these sudo usermod instructions here. And now I can start my Octoprint server. And here it goes. See if this works here. Now we're going to type in the IP address followed by port 5000 to access the Octoprint server on our Raspberry Pi. And in the setup wizard launches, I have my 3D printer powered on and connected to my Raspberry Pi. Here I am creating a username and password and enabling access control for myself to the Octoprint server. It is taking me through a setup page, but I'm not ready to do that right now because I want to get this on automatic startup now. So I'm going to Control-C, stop the server right now. Automatic startup means that instead of giving my Pi the command to start the Octoprint server every time I reboot it, it's going to automatically start up with the reboot or just a turning on of my Raspberry Pi. This is important if the power goes out, for instance, and your Raspberry Pi just reboots, then you have to restart everything over again. So this is a little bit confusing for me because I think I'm going to do step 2 before I do step 1. So step 2, which is really the first step, is I'm going to cd into Octoprint script. And then I'm going to sudo nano. I'm going to update the octoprint.default file. And it says right here you need to adjust your Octoprint default to have this daemon line. And really, when I looked at this, the daemon is already in here. I just needed to remove the comment. And it says path to Octoprint executable. You need to set this to match your installation. Okay, I've removed the comment. I've uncommented out the line. I'm going to save it, and that should do it. And now I'm going to run the 3 sudo cp that it tells me to run. Let's run this. Then I'm going to run this. Then I'm going to run default Octoprint. And last but not least, I'm going to run sudo update Octoprint defaults. And now, let's see if this starts up. Sudo service Octoprint start. Now this is a really important command to remember, because every time you install a new plugin, you will need to or there's a new version of Octoprint that comes out, you will need to restart your Octoprint server. Okay, let's see if this works now. Going to refresh over here. Well, it's going to take a second for it to restart. Octoprint is starting up. And here we go. I've restarted it. Now it's asking me to log in. I'm going to log in with my login and password I created. Oh, well, I'm going to connect to my printer, my actual printer. So now I've got my printer here. So let's go into Plugin Manager. Get more plugins. So there's some great plugins here. Touch UI is really important. So it's going to install the Touch UI plugin. And this is important if you want to view your 3D printer from for example, your iPad, or if you want to have that nice interface for your Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to hit close, and it will take a restart of Octoprint. So we'll do that in a second here. The other Astroprint, I will install Astroprint right now. Oh, I'm also going to add motors off. I noticed that when I hit the motors off, it didn't actually let the stepper go. So I'm going to install that plugin as well. And I'm going to save all of this, and then I'm going to restart. And I'm going to restart my Octoprint server. Please reload now. All right. And we are back. I'm going to connect to my printer. I've got Astroprint over here. In this step, we're going to enjoy the GUI of our Octoprint server from our Raspberry Pi with the LCD screen. I'm going to start by starting up the browser, and this is we've just turned it on. Nothing's really happened here. Instead of typing the IP address that like we did on the regular computer when we're accessing it from somewhere else, since we're accessing ourselves, we just need to type in 0.0.040:5000, port 5000 essentially is what it is. Because we enabled the Touch UI plugin in the previous step, you see the nice Touch UI screen right here. But you want this full screen. You don't want to see all this stuff on top. So let's get this into full screen. I showed you this keyboard at the beginning of the video as a material. So this is a USB keyboard. So I used it to type 0.0.0.0:5000 to access the GUI. And now I'm going to hit Function F11, and that puts my LCD screen into full screen, and then I can see all of the print jobs on here. So now that we've accessed this for the first time, this looks great, but we need to make sure that we're logged in. In order to log in, you want to hit the hamburger menu button over here on the right side, and then you want to scroll down and you want to hit login. And again, you would use your lovely keyboard here to type in your username and password. And this is the login and password that you set up at the beginning for Octoprint specifically. And I'm going to hit remember me so that I have to type in my password less often here, and then hit login. So you can see the print jobs, you can see everything without being logged in, but you can't upload, you can't stop the print jobs, you can't hit the print button unless you're actually logged in. So that's a little bit confusing for me, but hey, now we've got access. This is the status bar. You see where your print job, how much it's finished. So this is just a beautiful UI. This is the temperature control, and you can see what the temperature is. You can change the temperature right here, or this is the controls, XYZ control. So if you want to move it over, so I'm moving the bed, I can move it to the side here, and I can move it up. And those are the controls. And since I did that motors off, this is the motors off button. If I turn off the motors, then I can move around the extruder. So in a nutshell, there are a lot more options on this, but this is why you want to have that nice LCD screen with your Raspberry Pi controlling your 3D printer, is so that you don't have to always go to a computer, you don't have to go to this screen up here and press all these buttons. You've got just a really beautiful GUI interface right here. So we go back to home, you can see your print jobs, go here and change the temperature. So that is the completion of the Octoprint setup. Next, we're going to move on to Astroprint. In this step, we are going to enable printing from the smartphone, and that is done with Astroprint connected to Octoprint. So we are going to start at URL cloud.astroprint.com. Now, of course, this will be all in the description field. If you don't already have an Astroprint account, you need to create a free account here. Otherwise, we'll sign in with the account I already created prior to this video. And from here, we want to connect our Astroprint to Octoprint, right? How do we do that? We need to get into our settings and then look into our access key. And we will copy and paste our access key into Octoprint. Now, when we started Octoprint, we're over here. So remember 192, our IP address, port 5000. We get to our temperature, our controls, our terminal, all that good stuff. We enabled that Astroprint plugin. Once you enable that Astroprint plugin, as we did earlier in the video, and restart the Octoprint server, it asks you for an access key. So once you copy and paste your access key and click link account, now we are authorizing the Octoprint plugin. I click yes to authorize this request. And I get a success message here. I go back to Astroprint. I can see all of my previous print jobs here. Now let's go back to Astroprint, and now we can print directly from Thingiverse. This is the web version. Let's say we want to print a Santa hat. We can now send it to our printer. And just as I did at the beginning, I pick my quality, I pick my material, I choose my printer, I hit print, it slices my Thingiverse print job, and I hit print now, and I select my Raspberry Pi running Octoprint, and sure enough, there it is. Now I'm going to start printing this file, and it's as simple as that. I can monitor this print, and I can see that my printer is heating up right now. My printout just finished. This was a little nut that I printed out here. It took a little bit less than an hour to complete the print. I received a notification on my phone as well as an email that said that my printout was complete, and here it is. And if you want to see what I'm doing with this printout, so this was the printout that just came out. It was a nut, and I printed out a bolt, and it fits perfectly. And what am I going to do with this? I'm going to use, this is a filament spool. I'm going to take my next roll of filament and put this in here, and now roll the filament. So this is a perfect fit. So hey, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Bye.